The Ginger King rides again. Okay. Does that sound like a fitting start?
I like it.
Okay, ready? 3, 2. The Ginger King rides again.
At Lumpinee.
At Lumpinee this time. So you came out to Fairtex maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, like 3 weeks ago now, yeah.
And this was just this past Saturday. Can you tell me a little bit about the lead up to the fight?
I got to Fairtex like 2 and a bit weeks before this fight. It was kind of like first day training. The trainers were like, jump on the scale. I want to introduce you to Prem.
Yeah.
And there was a plan for another fight, which I think would have been a little bit more of a warm up. And that, it was just Thailand style. Like a return to Thailand style of, the lead into a Fairtex fight, I believe, is generally a little bit longer.
Yeah, generally it's about 5 to 6 weeks.
5 to 6 weeks. So kind of the same day I said, yeah, I'd fight. If you can find me something. I got told someone had pulled out of a fight, and my trainer here really said like that was a big opportunity to kind of like cut the line a little bit, I guess, and get straight on Fairtex fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, cool. That sounds good. That's probably a bit more level appropriate, really.
Yeah. You haven't fought in a year? When was
it's actually not been that long. I fought in November.
Oh, okay.
But I had a pretty significant injury.
Yeah, you broke your jaw, right?
Yeah. So I spent some time in hospital. I had a surgery.
Yeah.
So it feels like a lot longer than 5 months, but it wasn't like that long.
And this guy tested the jaw a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. So we'll get the action going. And this is at 77 kilos. Normally you fight at 70, 72.
Yeah.
So this was a big jump up in terms of weight.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we look at it, I think it wasn't a big jump in terms of experience.
Yeah.
But, what did you think, as you walked into the ring and sort of stood there against him, what did you think?
I remember what I was thinking here. I was also kind of thinking it as we were about to walk out, because we can see each other. I was like, man, this guy's really big. But then I was kind of playing it out in my own head. I was like, you always imagine your opponent is bigger than they are, like you exaggerate in your head. So I was just telling myself like that was what I was doing. But like, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. So you already start getting the leg kicks going and he's punching away. How did you feel in this first 30 seconds or so?
Honestly, it was probably for the best. Like I was like, okay, it's coming out like super, super hard. Like no time to like take your time and think. But that's kind of just a part of fighting 3 rounds too. So I was like, all right, we got to just get going here. But he was throwing a lot, but I was pretty comfortable under my guard for the most part.
Yeah.
My logic was kind of like, he can't do this for an entire round.
So just wait it out.
Yeah, just every time he steps in heavy to throw punches, start chopping away at his leg, and then that'll kind of start to pay off as the fight progresses.
Yeah, and obviously it did, and it will. So we're a minute in, there's a second or maybe third leg kick, and the leg kick already bent, his standing leg in. That lead leg is swaying to the side pretty heavily.
Yeah.
How were his punches still significant, or how did you feel?
For the most part, I think once I started going to the leg, it just made him think a little bit more about stepping in with so much commitment. So I found the punches to be less of a worry pretty much as soon as I started going to the leg. Because I was getting some response I could see like on his face when I would disrupt his base with the low kick. So I could kind of tell it was working.
And then we saw a clinch exchange working the leg kicks again here. He's very heavy-handed and very heavy on that lead leg still.
Yeah.
How did you feel your conditioning was?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty cool for 3-round fight. I sort of, I haven't actually fought that many 3-round fights in recent years. I tend to fight 5 in Australia, but I'm pretty comfortable over. I'm a pretty aggressive, kind of high work rate fighter generally. I think my style works for 3 rounds. So I'm pretty comfortable in a 3-round fight.
So we're at 40 seconds here. Now you're touching him up quite a bit. Were you feeling confident about where you were in the fight, or how did you feel?
At this point, I felt like there was I knew I was comfortable the whole way through but I knew the visual at the beginning of the round was him doing a lot. So I kind of felt like in my head it was a closer round, but I felt like all the momentum was with me coming out of the round, and was really starting to land the leg kick sweep by now.
Yeah. So the hook, there's a classic hook and leg kick. And then a lot of the punches don't seem to be landing as much. He's definitely slowed down. Were you like worried about anything in particular at this point?
Probably was just feeling like I needed to. Like you saw at the back end of the round, I was struggling to find a home for the left kick, which was good. I didn't have much of a plan, to be honest. I didn't know much about the guy I was fighting, but I wanted to throw left kicks and right low kicks. So I was kind of just thinking maybe I was getting a little bit repetitive, but repetitive is not always bad if it works.
Yeah, I mean, if it works. So here's some of the replays. You soaking up some of the damage. There's one of your left kicks.
But I struggle with the balance.
Yeah, the balance. I think you only threw maybe 2 or 3. Not one to count your left kicks that much. So, what was your corner saying?
My corner was interesting because like a bunch of people from home were over. Like Soraya was here to referee one, and one of my trainers, Wanchalom, is here for his wedding at the moment. So they kind of, as far as like the actual words in the corner, sort of took over, and it was just sort of like, just keep kicking every place.
Yeah, keep kicking.
They also like what they said also was like he doesn't really know what to do when you go into the clinch with him.
Yes.
So keep going forward, because if you guys tie up, you're fine there. That's probably your path to victory too.
Yeah, and you've fought someone like this before, the 70 kilo tournament. You kicked the shit out of that one guy's legs. Yeah, Damrapol. So how did you feel in the clinch? It looks like you're getting the better position all the time.
Yeah, I felt pretty comfortable here. In my early career, I always used to kick everybody's legs. Like that's how a few years ago, that's like how I felt all the time. In recent years, I've become a little bit more of a clinch and knee fighter. I really like that kind of game. So I think in large part in this round, I kind of got stuck between 2 approaches. Like I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. In terms of like here, I really for a while just kind of forget to keep kicking his leg.
Yeah.
Because I start thinking about the clinch.
Yeah, do you find that, I think if you had stayed kicking the leg, you probably would have been able to knock him out.
I think possibly too. I think probably what got me is coming up, I'd come the closest I do to stopping the fight, and it's actually with knees. So I think I probably got I felt like twice with 2 different weapons, I got pretty close to stopping the fight, and then got a bit of decision fatigue.
Yeah, here you are. Oh, there's like, he's basically turning his back, his posture is completely broken.
Yeah, I thought he was done here, to be completely honest. And now probably would have been a pretty good time as we separate to get back to his leg.
And we're almost 2 minutes in. Were you feeling pretty confident about the control of the fight, or how did you feel? Oh,
around about this point is where I figured it was all one-way traffic.
And were any of the he's trying to do the up elbow, he's landing a few things, but were they injuring you? How did it feel?
I think he had the right idea on a couple of things. Like he throws a couple of long left knees, a few teeps, and those upward elbows. A good way to counter someone who's like really relentlessly coming forward. But I think he was struggling to commit on the leg. You can see he goes a little bit, loses his balance a little bit on his lead leg there.
He looks pretty fatigued here as well.
And like the knees to the midsection will do that.
So just 20 seconds left. You weren't hurt at all. How were you feeling at this point?
Honestly, here I was kind of just getting a little bit frustrated with myself, just thinking, I guess I just was really confident the fight was about to be over about like 45 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And was just a little bit like, I think shot selection was probably just a problem. I got like overexcited.
Yeah. And how do you think you will fix that in the future? Like how can you fix a shot selection?
I think it's not getting over eager. Like there's points in round number 2 where I'm basically running after him, and I guess it's almost just like sometimes less is more. Like if you've got a clear path to victory, give yourself space to assess how to keep attacking what's working. Like I didn't really go back to that straight right knee that hurt him really badly, which was still open. I just kind of took a overall volume kind of approach. I started getting to his body with my hands and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seemed like you didn't fix to the knees. We're seeing it in the replays, or go back to that leg kick.
Yeah, so here would have been a good time just to step back and let him walk into the leg kick.
So third round, how were you feeling going into this final round?
Confident. I felt like, I mean, you don't want to. I thought he was probably going to come out pretty hard because I figured he would want to give me. Here he kind of tries to give me a hug, and I'm not interested.
You're like, hell no.
Yeah, I wasn't in like, I was very, especially when there's only like 1 minute breaks. I can be. So that's where I kind of figured that was as much just down to him not having his base under him anymore. Yeah, I figured this was on me, but the instruction from the corner was really like, just get back on the leg now.
Yeah, and you're definitely doing that. You've landed maybe 3 leg kicks already. And because this was quite a bit of size difference for you, how did you feel at this weight?
I actually felt like power-wise, I was pretty good fighting heavier, but that was to a degree offset by just kind of like the difference in size. Like I thought I landed, in addition to like the leg kicks are obviously coming in well, and knees to the body, but like I landed a couple of pretty good right hands too. I was pretty happy with the impact of the shots, but yeah, again, it is sort of offset by
his
having
impact
to throw at a bigger guy.
Yeah, he's definitely slowed down. Were you able to recognize signs of damage you feel to that leg?
Yeah, I could feel it.
And that last knee, definitely some damage there. So we're like halfway through the round. Were you still trying to go for the knockout here, or were you like, I'm just going to control the fight at this point?
At this point, I still wanted the stoppage because I could see he's kind of getting tired too, and he's not super confident on his leg. You can see him interrupting himself as he tries to come in. But I thought this was kind of coming back to what we were speaking about in round 2. I wanted to move a little bit more and let him come in to me because I think I get stuck chasing a little bit.
Oh, there's a good leg kick. Yeah, now you're sort of chasing a little bit. There's that left body kick, but it was sort of like a little bit of a chase there. So just 50 seconds left. And did you hear any instructions from your corner?
To be honest, not really.
Yeah. Is it because they're not very clear, or you weren't able to listen, or what do you think happened there?
I think I was just kind of bloodthirsty. And also it was just such I hadn't really done any work with the trainers who came with me, so I think there's sort of that. And also there's just 5 different people in the
yeah. All screaming at you.
And I could kind of guess what they would say. Kick his leg.
Yeah, obviously he's about to fall here for sure. You know, I think a strong gust of wind would knock him out, but it's like 5 seconds left in this round. And I feel like he was like holding himself up there. Yeah. So the fight ends. I assume you felt confident about the win?
Yeah. Like I thought at worst it was 2 rounds to 1.
Yeah.
If you were to give him number 1.
And we'll go to decision, but how did you feel about the overall experience?
The experience I thought was really good. I think it all worked out quite well for a first fight back in Thailand. Came together on reasonably short notice, which for me is good. You don't want to get stuck preparing for too long. It's a good show for exposure, so it's a good way to just get the ball rolling. And it's good to get on a show like Fairtex, fight in the morning.
Yeah, fight in the morning.
Nice to
Here's some of the highlights. There's a leg kick in the last maybe 30 seconds or so.
It's also like an interesting experience fighting on First X Fight because it is such a television show. It's probably like one of the most upscale productions I've ever fought on, but it's also not really for a crowd.
Yeah. The crowd is pretty minimal because it's so early in the morning. And here we're waiting for the decision. I was surprised that he thought maybe he won.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of surprised too, but I guess you just, if they happened to give it to him, you wouldn't want to look surprised.
Yeah, something like that. So you won the fight.
Yeah.
You know, a relatively short training period, and so you're back to the gym already.
Yep.
What is next for Mr. Hugh O'Donnell?
Next, I'm not 100% sure fight-wise. I want to fight again soon. So I'm here in Thailand. I'm gonna stay longer term, like indefinitely. So I wanted to start this. I've never been here for like a long time before. I've just done kind of quick training trips.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take my time and move around a little bit.
See the world.
Yeah, well, I just get, I've always wanted to get out here and not be pressed for time. So it's a chance to just experience training and fighting in different areas but my priority is setting up shop and fighting out of one camp.
Cool. Well, where can we follow along with you as you move into that segment of your journey?
The best place to follow me is just my Instagram at Hugh O'Donnell.
I'll put it right there so you can look.
Thank you,
Hugh
sir.
O'Donnell. Okay, thank you so much, Hugh, and hopefully we will see you soon.
Thank you very much.